Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Thank you so much.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. When I was preparing for this conversation…
Oh, you came prepared also. Oh my God.
I don't think I'll survive this conversation by the end of this. No, but I looked around and the one thing that is very unique about you specifically, probably the only man on earth…
It's telling somebody you are unique is like telling them you're a freak.
Well, no, it's a neutral kind of uniqueness. Sir. In my view, I think… I was asking my team, I was like, what is something that Sadhguru's not answered? And it seems like the world has made it your business to answer everything from AI, LLMs, to Ukraine, to Gaza. Is it not exhausting, Sadhguru, to be in a position where you need to answer questions of this nature? Or are you fine with that?
I'm fine with that, anything concerned with life. We are not interested in Ukraine or Gaza or Timbuktu. Our interest is life. Wherever there is life happening wonderfully, we talk about it. Wherever there is life which is distressed, we talk about it. Wherever there is life generally hanging between the two, we talk about it.
And so…
It's about life.
And so when you…
Unfortunately, because that is self-interest, because I am life. You knew that or no?
No, I didn't. That came up in my research.
He's getting the drift.
I was sitting in the Dhyanalinga earlier today, and it's a very… I'd heard the legend. People had told me that at least the least you should expect is be pulled into a state of meditation. I didn't even realize where 30, 40, whatever odd minutes went. Tell me a little more about this Dhyanalinga. How should I think about what it is? I don't think the world at large, they know about the Adi Yogi. But the world at large, my audience would have no idea about the Dhyanalinga.
Dhyanalinga was many years before Adiyogi, but some things become more famous than the other.
Some things get more photographed.
Yes.
Right.
So, what is Dhyanalinga? Let's split it. What is dhyana, first of all? Dhyana means, in English language, we say meditation. The word meditation is not saying anything specific, it's a generic something. If someone sits here with eyes closed, you will say they're meditating. But with eyes closed, you could do so many things. You could do japa, thapa, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, shunya, samyama, so many things. Or you might have just mastered the art of sleeping in vertical postures, which may be the maximum number.
Right.
They close their eyes, they're dozing, all right? So, the word meditation doesn't describe anything, just suggests something they're doing within themselves. But dhyana is very specific. There are many ways to describe it. Let's put it this way simply. If you sit here, what is you and what is not you is distinctly clear to you in dhyana. When I say what is you, what is not you, you are holding an iPad. I'm not here to advertise any brand, but you're holding an iPad. Is there a difference between I and iPad?
Yes.
You know that.
Right.
So your iPad belongs to you, but it's not you. Am I correct?
Agreed.
Though most of your work may be there. Maybe it's doing more than you do, if you got it empowered in a certain way. The clothes that you wear, it's yours, but is it you?
No.
The body that you carry, is it yours or is it you?
I intellectually understand that it is not me, but the…
No, just tell me honestly what is true for you.
I think my naive understanding says it is me. This is where I'm encased. This is the case of my being.
Do you say this is my hand or do you say look at me? Hello?
Well, yes, it is my hand.
Yes.
Right.
Is this your head?
Yes, sir.
Your foot?
Yes.
Then what? When you say mine, it means it belongs to you. We're not disputing that for now. A time will come for that. Right now, we don't dispute that. So your body is yours because you slowly gathered it, right? Were you born like this?
No.
Slowly gathered it. What you gather can be yours, can never be you. That's very clear. Everything that you know in your mind, whatever you call as my mind today is also an accumulation of impressions that you gathered. Slowly it gathered. So what you gather once again is yours, but not you. So what you call as my body and my mind, which are ruling you right now, your physiological and psychological processes, which seem like everything right now, is actually accumulated. So what I accumulate, I can keep it aside if I want. So the clothes that you wear, suppose you're not able to ever take it off, we would sit little away from you right now because you can take it off and put on new ones, things are fine. So you put it on and you can't take it off, terrible place or no?
Sure.
That's all that's happened. You put it on, this body, slowly you put it on, now you can't take it off. Meditation means, or dhyana means, if you sit here, you're here, your body's a little away, what you call as your mind is little away. So once your body and mind, between you and what is your body, between you and what is your mind, there is a little space or a distance. This is the end of suffering, because you know only two kinds of suffering, physical suffering, mental suffering. Do you know anything else?
Can't think of it. Well, I mean, in the sense of suffering, it's either
Is there some
physical-
other kind of suffering, I'm asking? People suffer physically and mentally. Is there some other suffering?
Yeah, financial suffering, but that leads to
Arey,
physical and
that's
psychological
mental.
suffering. Yeah, right.
See, right now I don't have any money, I don't know, am I suffering? How much do you have in your pocket?
I have nothing.
Then why are you suffering?
No.
Then
okay.
what is financial suffering? There is no such thing.
Right.
Suffering is either mental or physical.
Fair.
So once you create a little distance between you and your mind and you and your body, this is the end of suffering. When there is no possibility of suffering, the fear of suffering disappears. Once the fear of suffering disappears, you're no more a crippled human being. As long as the fear of suffering is there, you're crippled because your life will be only half steps, there'll never be full steps. Always afraid, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen? What is it that people are saying when I say, oh, what will happen to me? What is it? I may end up suffering, isn't it? That physically or mentally I may end up suffering. So, dhyana means this, that it gets you to a place where you're beyond suffering. Once there is no fear of suffering, this is when life blossoms to its fullest possibility. Human genius blossoms, human capabilities blossom. Above all, the life that you are is full-fledged and significant for its own nature, not because of what it does or what it has. Right now, people are valuable because, oh, he's got $1 billion, so he's valuable. You come from Delhi, everybody asks you how many million, how many crores is your company. Right. Even if you go for an evening get-together, people will ask you how many crores do you have. How this is all, you have to display it with your diamonds and this and that. How many crores do you have? So the value of who you are is only because of what you have accumulated. This is one way. In the transactional world, it's important. What I have will allow me to transact that much. In the transactional world, it's important, we are not against it. What you have will empower you, but will not enhance you.
Sure.
So enhancement happens when life within you blossoms, and this blossoming is seriously restricted because you're trapped in your own body and in your mind. Did you ever come out of your body?
I can think of a couple of moments when I was younger and more prone to alcohol, yes. But
that is not your out of your
Right.
body, little out of your mind.
Sure, little out of my… I confuse the two. No, but I meant it as a joke. I have some experience in meditation and it's interesting, but I can't claim to have ever gotten out of my body.
Yes.
Right.
So, it's a trap. You got into it and you can't get out. See, even if you live in a palace, it's wonderful, only if you can close the door and lock it for your safety. When you want to go out, you open the door and you go out. You went into your palace and closed it and you lost the key. Is it a palace or a prison?
It's a prison.
It's a prison.
Right.
The decor will not make it any better, all right?
Yeah.
The aesthetics will not make it any better. Once you feel that you can't get out, it's a trap. So all human suffering, unknowingly the frustration is this, that they may be in a good body, in a good mind, but there is nothing beyond, because it's of boundaries. If you don't explore this, then it looks like it's everything. If you fully explore the depth of your mind, you know it's very limited. It doesn't let you go out. So wanting to go beyond that is natural. As you said, this longing drives people to alcohol, to drugs and various other crazy things. Somebody jumps off a mountain, somebody jumps off an airplane, somebody pops some pill. What do you think this is? They're trying to escape the trap. But these are all crude things to do because it damages you and it doesn't work. Momentarily it gives you that feeling and again you're in the trap within a few hours or whatever. So what dhyana means is if you sit here, you are free from these two boundaries. They're available to you. You can use them whichever way you want, both your body and your mind. But they are not a limitation in your life. They are a possibility, tremendous possibility.
That's dhyana.
Yes. What is linga?
Yes.
Linga means, it is called the form. What is the form? What is a form? See, you know there is a world because they are forms. There is a coconut tree, one kind of form. There is blades of grass, another kind of form. There is a man, there is a woman, another kind of form. It's only because of their form you know what is this, what is this, what is that, isn't it? So this is called the form. What is a the form? Is it a religious belief? No. See, in the universe, when there was nothing, it was primordial, without a form. This we call as Shiva. That means that which is not. Shiva. You North Indians, you Delhi people made it Shiv, because you eat up the last syllable in everything, all right? We say Rama, you say Ram. Krishna, Krishna. So you eat up the last syllable, so you ate up Shiva also. Shiv he became. Essentially what Shiva means, that which is not. What is that which is not? That which doesn't have a form is that which is not. Space doesn't have a form, but it is there, nobody can deny it. But if you look there, there is nothing, because your visual apparatus can only grasp that which reflects light. Anything that allows light to pass through, you can't get it. See, right now, am I more important to you right now, or the air that you breathe is more important?
The air.
It is?
Yes.
You're a sensible guy, not bad.
Not prone to that much flattery.
No, that is nice.
Right.
But you can see me,
Right.
but you can't see the air which is so vital to you. So just because you don't see it, it doesn't exist? Exists?
Exists.
So everything that doesn't have a form, you cannot see. That's how your visual apparatus are made. So we are talking about a dimension which is beyond form, Shiva. So it is simply there, primordial, no form, no activity, simply there. When certain energies touched it, which we, in this civilization, we call it Shakti, and romanticize it with human forms because our understanding is always human about everything. Then when it touched it exploded and it roared. So that's why we said the first form is Rudra, one who roared. This, the modern science is calling it a bang, big bang. They all went on propagating for nearly a century, saying there was one big bang and everything happened. Today you ask them, they've changed their tack. There were many bangs. I've spoken to various scientists and I've questioned them and they said, yes, very much possible, many bangs happened. Now everybody accepts many bangs happened. If you… what do you drive?
I drive a…
Yeah, okay. I'm not against any brand, but…
It's very tricky being you, because you can't even express preferences.
So right now the motorcycle standing here.
Right.
If I take off the manifold, or even now, if you start the engine, it'll go bud, bud, bud. What is this? Bang, 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 bang. Internal combustion engine, you've not gone electric yet. Huh?
No, still internal combustion, still
Yeah.
muscle, yes.
So boom, boom, boom it goes. Throttle up, roars.
Right.
So many bangs put together is a roar, isn't it?
Sure.
So this is what we said in this civilization. First form was a roar, it roared. It's called Rudra. Rudra means the roarer. When he roared, the first form that took shape was naturally the shape of an ellipsoid. A three-dimensional ellipse is called an ellipsoid. So this ellipsoid is what we call as a linga. So we call it the form, the first form of primordial no-form state. The first form was a linga. And then from our experience, this is harder to explain, from our experience we know if we take our life energies to a certain level where it's just before dissolution, then again the form that your life energy takes is of that of a linga. You will see almost in every culture, knowingly or unknowingly, because things have gone from that basic thing, or there are people who experience this. In any culture, you see when they say soul, they will show you an egg-shaped form. Generally, in calendar art at least, they know. Whether it's India or anywhere, well, South American people always depicting an egg floating around because somewhere there is awareness that when time matures, when your life matures into a certain point, it'll take on the form of a linga. So we saw this, that the first form is linga, last form is linga, so we decided to form many varieties of lingas to represent different aspects of life, to affect or to take effect on different aspects of life. So if you are a pursuer of money, we'll make one kind of linga. If you want education, we'll make another kind of linga. You want spiritual process, we make another kind of linga. Like this, for everything we have one kind of linga. For dhyana, we have one linga called Dhyanalinga. What this means is, without any instruction, without any knowledge about how to do it, you simply go sit there, it will happen. Because he instructs you in an energetic way.
This idea about the roar, the big roar.
It's not an idea.
Sure. How would you say, this fact?
Yes, it is
This
a fact. Is Big Bang a fact?
It's a theory. I mean, I'm keeping all things at an arm's distance, just trying to
No,
understand.
I understand. See, it is a theory. It's called Big Bang theory, it's very correct.
Right.
So, what I'm saying is it true that creation began at some time?
Fair, time zero, t is equal to zero, right? Before that there is no time, or is there time before that?
There is time.
Okay.
Time, you see, you must understand in this culture, in this civilization, for us, both time and space are same. We don't distinguish between the two. Kala means time. Kala also means… Kali means what?
I would not know.
Kali. What
Kali,
is
the
empty?
goddess Kali. Acha.
No,
Kali.
not…
Oh, you said Kali. Okay, fair.
You're going very far to Bengal. What is Kali? Empty.
Yes, Kali is empty.
Empty means what? Space. All right?
Right.
Kala and Kala, both are same. Emptiness and time, we call it the same thing because time and space are not separate. Two ways to look at it. So if I can move from point A to point B, it takes this much time.
Right.
One way to look at it.
Right.
But only because there is this much space, I can move from here to here, isn't it?
Fair.
Which is first?
I would think time is first, because time is something I understand less. I don't know how to answer that question. In fact, that would be my question to you.
Because I'm here, I can go there.
Right.
It may take certain amount of time. But if there was no here and there would be no time.
Okay.
But if there was no time, there would be no here and there also. All right?
Right.
So let's not get into this. It's not about semantics.
Right.
It is a certain fundamental reality.
Sure. And my question is there something that this fundamental reality, is it accessible to you as part of your experience, or is it something you have learnt reading yogic sciences?
No. Are you part of this reality?
I would
Existence?
Yes. I would
You
like
are.
to think so, yes.
But the problem is, in your mind you gathered a certain amount of information. Maybe you think it's a lot. Maybe you read 10 libraries on the planet. But if you read all the libraries on the planet, still what you know in comparison to this cosmos is a minuscule, isn't it?
Agreed.
So if you identify with your knowledge, you will become a minuscule. So in our civilization, we always identified with our ignorance. Because our ignorance is boundless. Yours also?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Absolutely. You
Mine is
tested me.
boundless.
In case I said, no, it's not.
So,
No. Yes,
because
please.
ignorance is boundless,
Yes.
we identify with that. If you identified with something which has no boundaries, your intelligence is in a dynamic mode. Anything that you see, it is what it is. But if you identify with your knowledge, then it is in a static mode of just that, because it operates from your memory. How much ever memory you have, still limited accumulation, isn't it?
Agreed.
So whether you will lead your life from the accumulations that you hold, or will you live your life out of the life that you are two different aspects.
Right.
So about the Big Bang being a theory or a reality, from nothingness, creation began to happen. Well, it's your choice whether you want to think in terms of did it happen with a whimper or with a bang or with a roar, it's your choice. But looking at wherever there's creation, such enormous temperatures. What is the temperature of the sun? Some million degrees centigrade something?
Yes.
It's all in that order, all right?
Right, yes.
The core of the Mars is like that, the core of the Earth is like this. Obviously, something violent, big happened. If it happened with a whimper, you would have had a cool sun.
Yes.
Conjecture.
Right, conjecture.
Not 100%.
Sure.
But if the motorcycle roars, it creates some temperature, we know that. When we feel the temperature, we know it's been roaring.
Right.
It's like that.
Right. Fair. The only reason I was asking that question is because if I wanted to find a way to approach questions of this nature, which currently physics answers, and physics answers with very
No, physicists have clearly stated, the top physics in the world have stated, we not only do not know, we cannot know.
we cannot know, yeah.
Yes.
Because the evidence for that
That's
is
really
very…
fantastic of them to have said that, because that's fantastic. Really.
It shows intellectual humility.
No, it's not humility. They are beginning to come to the yogic ways of getting identified with ignorance. I do not know. The basis of this civilization is that we do not know. That's why we bow down to everything. We see a tree, we bow down. We see a man, we bow down. A woman, we bow down. A cow, we bow down. A snake, we bow down. Nothing. Emptiness, we bow down because we do not know.
Fair.
It's not fair, it's fantastic.
Fantastic. I was listening to the story of how the Dhyanalinga came about. And there's a very interesting I don't know or I can't understand to that story. Could you tell me the story? How you decided that you were going to do it and what the history of it is?
It's a long story, man.
We have time.
Wow. One thing is, right from my infancy, I had a mountain peak in my eyes. Till I was 16 years of age, I did not know that it's only in my eyes. I thought in everybody's eyes there's a mountain peak. Because how do I know what's in your eyes or not? I thought in everybody's eyes there is a mountain peak, a specific peak. Always in the background, awake or asleep, it's always constant. Then when I was around 16, I'm talking to my friends and about my mountain. They said, "Are you crazy? What's happened to you? Get your eyes tested." My father is an ophthalmologist. Then I started looking, what is this mountain peak? Nobody I checked with, nobody had mountains. Then my madness to trek mountains came to me. I trekked across Western Ghats extensively. That's where my education is. I didn't go to school or college.
You were just trekking, huh?
I trekked a lot.
By yourself?
Yes, largely.
Okay.
Of course, there were all of the creatures were there.
Sure. None of the talking creatures.
No, they talk too, if you listen hard enough. Everybody talks. There's a lot of social media happening there. Really. Elephants are communicating in subsonic sounds across 1,000 miles.
You mean that?
Yes.
You mean with the tap of their legs? or?
No, they're communicating with sounds which are subsonic. Whales are communicating thousands of miles across the oceans, and one reason why they're confused is because of the shipping that their communication is getting, disturbed. Elephants are communicating big time, subsonic sounds. You can't hear that. So, I spent a lot of time trekking. Wherever I went, I'm looking for this peak and I never found one, which looks exactly the same. Then when I was 19, I started going to Himalayas thinking it may be there. The first time I went there, I realized it's not there because the nature of this peak and what is in Himalayas are very different. But Himalayas caught my imagination and 27 years, nearly, 27 years, every year I went back to Himalayas, trekking. These days, last 17, 18 years, we've been going to Tibet and Nepal because the mountain madness never left me. This was in '87, my search for mountains was still going on. Wherever I went, I started teaching from '82 onwards. And wherever I went, people want me to set up a center. I'm not for that because I thoroughly enjoyed my physical freedom at that time, and that I thought is very important, which takes some maturing to see that's not the way life works. And when you travel, you think you're free, but actually there are more restrictions and more issues, physical things going on when you travel alone than when you're simply sitting in your home, actually.
Sure.
So, travel kept on happening, teaching also kept me traveling, but wherever I went, people say set up a center, whatever. I said no, no, no. Many places they offered, but I said no. Because I was still looking for this peak. It's in '87, for the first time I came here and I saw you don't see that from here, there is something called as the seventh hill, a peak. I can show you that picture. First time I set my eyes on it, I knew this is it, I've come here. And after that it disappeared from my eyes. Then I walked down here, there were no roads coming here completely,
I can imagine.
You had to cut through and come. And I came here and said, this is where we'll set it up. They said, Sadhguru, are you crazy? We don't know whose land this is, what is it is, how can we do this? I said, just find out whose it is, this is where we'll set it up. On the 11th day, after I set my foot on that, it was registered in our names. And after that, all this has happened. I thought I'll set up Dhyanalinga and go away. But all these idiots, will they let me go?
These people are holding you here?
Yes.
This peak, for instance, you talk about, and I spent my time reading this book over the last couple of days. It's so interesting. You talk about the experience you have in 1982, seeing a peak constantly. A mere mortal like me would be very scared of something of that nature.
Don't bull me like this, I'm a mere mortal like me.
An amateur.
That's not how you behave with other people. You're a very important guy.
No,
With me you're saying I'm a mere mortal. What do you want to be?
I'll choose my words more carefully, Sadhguru. My question is like to 29-year-old Prakhar, that is a very scary description of an experience. That you're sitting on top of a rock for 5 hours and it seems like it's been 5 minutes, that you've lived 18, 20, 30 years of your life seeing a peak in your eye that's mysteriously hidden between these hills. Like, is that not scary? How does one see it?
See, it is that to have such an experience only you had drink, and if you went for more things in Delhi, all these things you did only looking for some experience like that, but unsuccessfully. Just because it's successful you would get scary. Suppose all the time you're blown away. Look, I'm covering my eyes because I'm always stoned. No substances, simply stoned from within.
The natural order of things.
Yes, because there is something called as endocannabinoids in the body. You can generate this as you want. Right now there are studies to show that people who do Shambhavi Mahamudra for 6 to 8 weeks, their endocannabinoid level is 70% higher than normal. That means they're just blissed out all the time. Their Anandamide levels are very, very high. We have a center in the Beth Israel Hospital, which is in the Harvard Medical School. They are saying the level of the pleasant chemicals that are happening in the body post these practices is much bigger than what happens in a sexual orgasm, way bigger. This is why all those things just dropped away. Not because somebody gave up something, because something much bigger is happening. Small things drop away. When you were a child, did you play with a bear or a teddy bear or something,
Sure.
some toy? At that time it meant a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
At that time, if I came and grabbed your toy and went away, you would cry the whole day. But do you know what happened to the toy now?
It's probably trash.
No.
Yeah, it's broken, resold.
Do you know when it dropped?
No, I have
See,
no
look at
memory.
that.
Yeah.
So it's just growth, isn't it? You grew into little bigger things, small things. Just vanished without your notice. This is the same thing. If something much bigger begins to happen within you, small things just poof, they're gone. You never gave them up. You did not give up your thumb sucking. It just went away, isn't it?
Sure.
Just like that.
I'll probably situate my question in a little bit of a personal context. I've practiced Vipassana for about 4 or 5 years. I started right before the pandemic. The pandemic was its own thing. And then I was back.
Oh, you were the one who caused it.
They say so. There are rumors to that effect. Only last year when I was at my Vipassana retreat for 10 days, I came out it was a very overwhelming experience. Almost out of, like I couldn't control the amount of emotion and sensation and all that was happening in me. And I didn't, even if I tried to just watch it, it would not happen. Long story short.
First of all, let's settle this.
Yes, sir.
You want to be controlled or liberated?
Liberated.
Then why are you talking about I couldn't control?
I just remember constantly feeling a fear I couldn't even neutrally observe from a distance. Like it was so overwhelming. And
No, that's because you're a control freak. You want to control everything.
and you say just feel the fear?
No, I am not saying anything. I am not saying anything. All I am asking is, do you want this mind and this life to be controlled or liberated? Make up your
Liberated.
mind. Liberated.
Yes.
So if it's liberated, what it means is it'll cross boundaries that you are familiar with. So if anything within you goes into unfamiliar terrain, if you're going to suffer that, all the best.
If I'm going to try and control, I will suffer that. I did see that.
No, if you control that, what it means is you want to remain in familiar terrain.
Fair.
That means you like to be a prisoner. See, it is like this, you take a bird, imprison it in a cage, daily feed it nicely and make it fat little bird, all right?
Right.
And then one day you open the door, the damn thing won't fly.
Sure.
Because free food is coming, it's sitting in the cage, safe, no predators, no nothing, happy. Happy or not, fat is happy, Lot of fat gathers in you, you lose interest in everything. I'm not talking about just physical fat, I mean,
Yeah, psychological fat.
bulk gathers in you, then you feel substantial but inadequate.
I see that from your standpoint, this grammar
No,
applies.
not my standpoint, I'm asking you as life. I'm not expressing my opinion, I'm just asking you, is it true that if you become excessively comfortable in a given place, even if you have the opportunity to walk away into another land, you won't go because, yeah, okay, food is coming, I'm comfortable, why go anywhere?
I agree. But the experience itself had no element of comfort and the overwhelm was so strong, I came out thinking, what if I go crazy? Like what if this is…
Why are you not going crazy? That's what I'm asking.
Sadhguru, I have a family to take care of, no? I'm speaking from the viewpoint of everybody who's watching, for who this language is mystical, to say the least, right?
No, let me come to this. See, crossing boundaries always will create something. You see, just yesterday I was in the HAL airport where they were testing one of our fighter jets. That doesn't, usually cross the Mach. If an airplane just goes by faster than sound above us, boom, it'll explode, maybe glass panes will break here. Nothing, there's no explosion, there's no explosive involved, nothing caught fire, nothing happened. just the speed. Something broke. Something broke its limits. Boom. So if you break your limits, something boom will happen within you. That's what you're reading that book, it's called Enlightenment, all right?
Right.
So you don't want any boom to happen. Even creation wouldn't have happened if there was no big boom or bang, whatever you want to call it. So right now, if something more than what you are needs to happen, something must break, isn't it? Hello?
Fair.
Some boundary must be broken. If boundaries are not broken, nothing new will happen. That is why people are safe and secure, but they're bored to death about their lives.
I follow. Do I need a support in this breaking, in this crossing of boundaries?
If there is support, you wouldn't have that fear.
I would probably have less of a fear, yes.
If you were crossing the boundary and boom happened, if I was standing there, you know I am in that place and I am fine.
Right.
Would that give you reassurance or no?
I think so, yes.
You boomed and nobody there. Of course you're scared.
And you're silent and you can't even talk, right? In that circumstance.
You could scream, nobody would stop you.
Right. So having a support would help.
Don't call it support. See, right now, I jumped off the mountain and started flying. I told you how to do it. But if I didn't fly ahead of you and I say, you do all this, you can fly, would you ever take off?
No, probably not, yes.
We've had this, I was a hang glider pilot at one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
I still have my hang glider, musty and unmaintained, still sitting in my house. So, we go to this place called Ullatti in Ooty. Nilgiris, you've been there?
Probably not, but I've heard of… as a kid, Ooty,
There's
yes.
a place called Ullatti, where the drop is about 600, 700 feet, and the wind comes and it's going up like this. It's a surefire flying place. That is, if you jump, it'll just throw you up. 100, 150 feet up, you'll go just like that. Instead of going down, you go up. You know that's how the wind will work. If you throw a piece of paper, boom, it'll go up. So your hang glider also will go up. But most of them spend a whole day. They will gather their courage, scream, "Ah!" and come and last minute stop. Because when you look down, but a more experienced hang glider pilot takes off and boom, he goes away. Then the next guy gets little. Okay, after all, he didn't get killed, so you will fly. This is just like that.
Yeah.
Somebody is already there. Doesn't it make it so much easier? Nobody is there. It's hard, isn't it?
Right, yes.
Unless you are totally crazy.
Yes. Unless you have really nothing to lose in your head.
There's nothing to lose actually. What have you got?
I'd like to think I have my family.
We'll see. I'm not saying… it's an arrangement that you make for your well-being. Let it go well. It's my blessing that everything should go well. We build a building because we need a shelter. We build a kitchen because we need food. Similarly, we need family for our emotional and our well-being. Whatever, this is our life. Nothing wrong. It must be managed well and it is to be kept well. I hope it happens wonderfully, all right? But you're still alone, isn't it, within you?
Yeah. Yes.
And that's the greatest privilege you have. Nobody else can enter you. You have your own space and time. Doesn't matter how involved you are, how engaged you are with the world around you. You may call it family, you may call it friend, you may call it workplace, you may call it world, general world, doesn't matter. But involvement makes you feel like it's one, which is wonderful. What this means is, what was not you, you're trying to make it a part of you. This is yoga. Yoga means union.
Yes.
You sit here, what is not you becomes a part of you. Because your individuality is a myth that is created by your mental structure. The amount of memory you carry, that is the size of your world, isn't it?
Agreed.
So right now, suddenly you're in love with a girl, you put her into your memory in a prominent place, suddenly she's a part of you. Yes or no?
Yes.
But when you sleep, do you sleep alone or is there somebody inside of you?
No.
You sleep alone.
Yes.
The same will happen when you die. I'm saying,
Right.
all right?
Yeah, I follow.
The same is happening even now. This doesn't mean the other is not valuable. You must see everything for what it is and make it valuable. You should not lie to yourself and to make it valuable. You don't add lies to make it valuable. In reality, everything is valuable. This coconut tree is valuable. You may not climb it, but it's valuable as a life if you pay enough attention. Similarly, you may marry a coconut tree one day. In India, they marry trees, you know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm saying it's your involvement. Your involvement makes another person feel like he or she is a part of you. And that's fantastic, because that's a small-scale yoga. We want you to feel this way about the whole cosmos, that you experienced the whole cosmos as yourself. Then it's fantastic. So somewhere, some possibility like that you came. Were you drunk in the Vipassana?
No. Why?
Okay,
No chance.
very good.
I don't enjoy alcohol nearly as much.
Okay. No, because both were tried for the same reason, I want you to understand. One goes to the temple, one meditate, another drinks, another drugs. For what? To break limitations, isn't it? Question is about what is the right method, what works really, what doesn't work. It's about that. The question is not about intent. Everybody's intent is same. They may be doing it in crude ways, in ignorant ways, but intent is same. People want to break their limitations, isn't it?
Yes.
You can call it love. What is it? You broke your limitations.
Right.
You are like this, now little bit, something opened up.
Yes.
You call it drink, something opens up. An idiot who can't sing in the bathroom starts singing on the street. All right?
Right.
Because it loosens him up.
Right.
So I am saying you're trying to do it in simplistic ways, which can work for a little bit of time and go back. If I give you a method where you can sit here, no need to do anything, simply you can open up to the whole universe. Interested?
Yeah.
But no, you're not, because if you step there, nothing to hold. In the middle of the universe, what to hold? But if you see me floating there, then you're okay. That guy is also in trouble, let me also get into it.
This breaking of limitation, is that what is commonly referred to as enlightenment? This ultimate act of breaking through
It's called mukti.
mukti. But isn't mukti more closer to enlightenment post-death? Like, I've always heard of mukti as mukti from the body as well.
Yes, you can also be free from the body even when you sit here. Can you not be?
I don't know how to conceptualize being free from the body. What does it look like?
We were telling you, dhyana means a little bit space between you and the body.
Sure. So I can…
If you can consciously create space, we call it dhyana. If unconsciously you became separate from the body, we call it mrityu, death.
Fair. But tell me about this, because it would seem to an amateur outside that large…
No. What do you mean? There's a professional life guy?
No, I mean to people who are not part of this.
No, which one of these are professional life? Tell me. Everybody's amateur life, only by choice.
Yes. In the sense that if somebody was to not understand the depth, or for that matter, the detail of spirituality, and they were to see spirituality from the outside, and they were to treat it with the limited understanding that they have, they would assume that the point of spirituality is to reach somewhere, just like the point of business is to make money, just like the point of a career is to advance or promote yourself. However, people might see that. But it is my understanding from reading this book and from, talking to you to a certain extent, that it may not be the case that enlightenment is that final act. That probably I should think about it a little differently.
See, you go to school because you want to go to college, you go to college because you want to go to work, you go to work because of something. That means essentially, in principle, what it means is, right now what you're doing is not worthwhile, something else needs to happen. That's
Right,
what it
yes.
means. So it's always a transactional thing. What you call as meditation is a transcendental process. You transcend the limitations of who you are. So this is not about going anywhere, this is about coming home right here. You want to go somewhere because this is not your space. You want to go somewhere which seems to be better. It is from this that they created heavens. Somebody told you there is a better place to live than here. Whatever nonsense, if you look at the descriptions, very crude stuff. If you make it up today, at least I could write up a new heaven if people want, where it's free Wi-Fi and all those
Unlimited
things.
social media access.
And all that.
But that's probably hell.
So, all these things were made up because somewhere within a human being, sitting here feels so inadequate. You have to get somewhere to be something. This somewhere may be a school, maybe a college, maybe marriage, maybe work, maybe money, maybe wealth, it doesn't matter what, you want to get somewhere. When all these things fail, you start thinking in terms of heaven. If you ask me, the idea of heaven is the worst crime we have committed upon humanity. That is, this is not the place to live. There is another place where you will have real life, doesn't matter. How many billions of lives have been lost thinking that they will live better elsewhere, not here? It's here, damn it, it's here that you have to live. And do you have any proof that you're not already in heaven and making a mess out of it? Do you have any proof?
No.
So you are in heaven and making a mess out of everything. You're making it like a hell for yourself. But all human experience comes from within. Your stress, your anxiety, your tension, your depression, your madness, your misery, everything comes from within, correct?
Right.
Similarly, your pleasure, your happiness, your joy, your blissfulness, your ecstasy, everything also comes from within. It's your choice. You want to sit here like you're in heaven or you want to sit here like you're in hell, it's your choice. It is just that nobody taught you, you have to exercise the choice. So becoming human means just this. The thing between you and any other creature on the planet is, you and them are not different. What you do, they do. What they do, we do, all right? They are born, we are born, the same way. They grow up, we grow up. They eat, we eat. They sleep, we sleep. They reproduce, we reproduce, or we may reproduce. They die, we die. But we do all this with a lot of fuss. They simply do it. Yes or no?
Sure.
Only thing is, we can do it consciously. Everything that we do, we can do it consciously. This is a world apart,
Yes.
This is worlds apart. You're doing something unconsciously or compulsively, you do the same thing consciously, it's worlds apart. You eat unconsciously, that's one thing, it still nourishes you, but you eat consciously, very different. Everything becomes consciously, if you do something, suddenly it's beautiful and fantastic. This is the privilege of the human being. This is what people are trying to give up by becoming automatic or compulsive. So, doesn't matter what you're doing, if it is happening consciously, it's a beautiful process. Now I am asking, how much of your thought or how much of your emotion or how much of your experience is conscious?
A fraction?
That's what, unfortunately.
Yes.
In a day, in a 24-hour day,
Right.
how many thoughts that you have are consciously created? How much is just flowing like that?
It's mostly just flowing.
Yes.
Right.
So now mostly life is accidental. When life is accidental, being anxious is normal.
Sure.
That's what every doctor is saying, anxiety, no, don't worry, it's normal, I'll give you a pill, I am also anxious, I took a pill before coming to the clinic. All right? Anxiety is not normal.
Right.
When you were a child, joy was normal, isn't it?
Yes.
If you grew up, what should happen? At 5 years of age, if you were so joyful, by the time you are 30, you should be ecstatic, you still have 2 years, man.
Right.
Should I talk like a proper guru or it's okay?
No, you're doing very well.
All right.
But I think I still did not probably get the answer to my question, which is, how do I conceptualize enlightenment? Is it the act of doing your everyday just consciously? That's it?
See, how do you conceptualize something which is not yet in your experience? I'll tell you one thing. Let's say you've not eaten gulab jamun. Yeah, has she eaten gulab jamun? She's already eaten. Has she eaten? You also. All corrupted by India. Suppose you've not eaten gulab jamun. I will say, that gulab jamun is brown, open it's somewhat beige.
Yes.
It's sweet, it's like this. You get it?
Right.
Like this. You got the taste?
I mean, because I've had it, I can probably
No,
imagine the
you
taste.
never
but yeah.
had it, you've not seen it.
Yeah, then I cannot imagine the taste.
So I'm saying something as simple as something that you eat. You cannot know it without you having tasted it.
Sure.
Then enlightenment, you want to conceptualize? Can you conceptualize the gulab jamun? You cannot. You think whichever way you want, it will not be that way, isn't it?
Right.
So human experience, you must understand everything that you know is only by memory. You remember things. Maybe not very perfectly, maybe vaguely, but it's there in your experience. And that's all you know. Do you know anything else?
No.
So when you're talking about enlightenment, we are talking about breaking that bubble, that boundary of memory which limits us to go beyond that. So, how to conceptualize that? No, you cannot conceptualize. If you conceptualize, you will make a mistake, so better not conceptualize.
Sure.
Walk one step at a time.
One step at a time.
See, right now if I teach you that if you sit here, there are cycles of body, you have to eat, you have to go to the bathroom, you have to do this, do that. Suppose I make you in such a way, you sit here, food doesn't matter, sleep doesn't matter, you have no need to go to the bathroom. You sat here for 10 hours, 12 hours a day. You've broken some barrier, isn't it?
Agreed.
Because food and sleep are the biggest compulsions of human existence right now.
Fair.
Once you crossed a certain time, sleep and food will rule your life. Everything is organized around that, please see, the whole society. It's all about food, isn't it?
Yes.
How you organize your food.
Right.
Which has gotten more and more fancy as it goes by, but that's all it is.
Right.
So, if you go beyond these compulsions and you can… it's not that you stop eating, but it's not that compulsive anymore. If that much happens, have you broken something?
Yes.
Yes. So when you talk about ultimate freedom, don't try to conceptualize freedom because you'll end up with wrong ideas. You only have to look at what is binding you. So you want to become free, don't think of freedom. What are the ropes which are binding you right now? You cut this rope, you'll become little free. Then you find you have a little longer rope and that is binding you. You cut that rope and the next one. If you slowly cut one rope at a time, or if you're capable of burning all of them at once, that's different, that takes a lot more. But at least one rope at a time, you become little more free, little more free, little more free. And something else was determining the nature of your experience. And that'll go away. Right now, I'm sorry, I am happy or unhappy is ruled by who is around me, what is happening, what is not happening, what do I have, what do I don't have. Suppose, without all those things, if I can just sit here joyfully, is there some amount of freedom?
Sure, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, today I can show you, there are dozens of people here in the yoga center. In the last 5, 10, more than that also, years, not for one moment they have any idea of what is stress, what is anxiety, what is fear, what is anger, these things not there in them. Not because they're sitting in a mountain cave and simply sitting, no, they're all doing complex activity, much more than most people. And we give them only 2 meals a day. Many of them only 1. Okay? And they're fine. You call this freedom?
Yeah. Sure.
That's all. Something else does not determine how you are. You decide how you are. This is freedom, isn't it?
Fair.
We're always thinking of freedom in arrangements around us. I want to have this, I want to have that. We started a movement called Inner Freedom for Imprisoned. It's mandatory in all the South Indian prisons. We also did this in United States in some of the prisons. When I first went to conduct the first program in Coimbatore Central Prison, see, prison is a very organized, nice place. I'm saying this very consciously. Outwardly, if you go there, especially Coimbatore Central Prison has huge trees. At that time, we are just about setting up this yoga center. There are no trees in this land, only 3 trees we had. All this has been planted, only 3 trees. So when I went into the Coimbatore Central Prison to do the program for the inmates, I saw they had fantastic trees, over 100-year-old. I was just joking with our people, we can give our land to them. We can take this. And anyway, cells are ready. Here also we're building cells only for people to sit and meditate.
Right.
Just fantastic atmosphere, only thing is, you don't have the key in your hand, that's all. Somebody opens the door, somebody closes the door. Usually, the rich and the privileged people want somebody to open their doors and close their doors.
Yes.
It's an imprisonment.
Yeah.
Still they suffer after some time. See, if I put you in a gold-plated prison for some time, if you're a greedy idiot, you will enjoy it.
Right.
Hello? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's all that's happening to people. They're imprisoning themselves and they're enjoying the prison for some time only. Afterwards, you'll see something else will happen. You ask people the first day they got their job, they went and sat there. That table, first day job, you know, that table felt so fantastic. Sitting here behind this, the other guy didn't have the table, you had the table and the chair. You felt so great. But after 10 years you see them, behind the same table, they're getting blood pressure, they get dying of stress, everything happening. I need something warm. Don't let that happen to you in your marriage. Your marriage should stay like it's first day every day, the rest of your life. Hello?
I was thinking that it could apply perfectly well to how relationships function. The first day is beautiful.
No, you keep it that way. If you don't live by memory, if you live consciously, every day, every moment is a new day and a new moment, isn't it?
Yes.
If you live by memory,
Then
then everything is old.
Yes. Take notes.
Not for her, for you, man.
Okay. Today I'm in the hot seat.
We can go on.
Yeah, right. My channels, incidentally, it started off as explorations into philosophy. I was a student of psychology and economics in America, and
What do you think, I'm a normal?
like a little bit. No, but it would be really uneventful if you were normal. You know, all this buzz, all this hype, and then if I met you and you were completely as normal as him, or it would be uneventful.
What do you mean, you're saying I'm not normal?
I think you are special.
No.
No?
So let me put it like this.
Yes.
At one time, we used to print brochures like this for the program. Whatever this program, from ordinary to extraordinary. So after 2 days, 3 days, people are saying, Sadhguru, you said we will be special, but you didn't teach us anything very special. What is it? I said, you idiots, I never said you'll be special. I said, you will be extraordinary. That means more ordinary than other people. The moment you try to be special, you make an ass out of yourself.
Right.
You be ordinary, more ordinary than others. Why are you not ordinary? Ordinary is life, isn't it?
Agreed.
Special is death.
Yeah, fair. But where I was leading to with that,
You should stop saying fair.
what should I say?
You say I'm crazy, is it fair?
Are you talking about you or me?
I don't hold any distinction between the two, that's the problem.
Enough philosophy already.
No, it's not philosophy. This is what yoga means. Yoga means union.
Right.
You didn't see anybody outside of yourself. You saw everything within you.
It's like being described the gulab jamun if I've never seen it. You know what I mean? Like for me, when you say that, I have very little ways to understand that.
No.
But- no?
You have. What did you eat today morning?
I had dosa.
Dosa. Does dosa look like you?
No.
Smell like you?
No.
No. But you ate it and has it become you already?
Yes. In
So
a way that
you
is.
have a yogic experience, but the problem is most of your life is unconscious. You don't know it's happening. If you actually watch the dosa becoming a part of you, life's experience would be very different, isn't it? This is yoga.
How do I get to the place where I can feel the dosa becoming part of me? Like what is the…
No, you
what is
don't
the
have to eat more and more dosas, no.
And then every time I
Then you
eat
may
it,
become the shape of the dosa.
is there a method that bridges…
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I told you. Dhyana, or what we teach as Shambhavi, samudra, or it's a kriya. You know how to do external activity with physical body and mind. So the thing is to teach you to do some internal activity, which doesn't involve the physical body or the mental structure. Now once you start doing inner activity without using your body or your normally what you call as your psychological process, now you build a capability to see that the boundaries open up a little bit. You consciously obliterate the boundaries of your individuality. This is what you're trying to do by falling in love or getting married. You're trying to obliterate the boundaries of your individuality, isn't it?
Yes. I follow that logic, yes.
So, if you obliterate the boundaries of individuality, something more is there suddenly. So if you do it emotionally, you call it love, but if you do it at the life energy level, then it's a fantastic, huge experience which you got scared of. Because Vipassana is a wonderful process. It's a little laborious, but it's a wonderful process.
And is it fair to say that all… whether that be Vipassana or whether that be any other method, I have recently started doing a shaking meditation. You begin with shaking and then dancing and then you sit down and you lie down.
How long can you shake?
It's very difficult past 5 minutes to shake.
That's what.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes a day something, see, this can be done in so many ways. Somebody dances, somebody sings, somebody swims, somebody goes up the mountain.
Right.
Whatever physical activity or anything that you do outside to create an inner experience will enslave you to that activity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes.
I ate dosa, that was the most wonderful divine experience in my life. Now I have to keep on eating dosa.
I'm addicted to dosas.
I can see that. Anyway, the thing is, if you use any external activity to create an inner experience, you will get addicted to that process. Doesn't matter what it is. So the whole idea of yogic practices is to bring yourself to a place where you don't have to do anything in particular. If you simply sit here, you're like that. Only then you're free. Otherwise, you're moving from one trap to another. Let's say you moved from alcohol to meditation. Well, it may have some health benefits and other kinds of benefits, but you have moved from one trap to another. Unless this method is constantly releasing you from one little boundary to the next boundary and the next boundary. If it's only one boundary and you stay right there for the rest of your life, it's just the same thing in a different form, maybe not health-wise it's not damaging to you, that's a different matter. But I'm saying, in terms of life's growth, it is the same thing. So it's very important that it's progressive.
Right.
It's moving.
Right.
So how long… see, there are people who are saying if you laugh, everything will be okay. If you keep on laughing, believe me, you will go crazy one day. If laughter happens because inside you're exuberant and it just bursts out, fantastic. But I always laugh, ha 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 ha. It'll drive you nuts one day because you're trying to do the consequence instead of the root. It's like this, if I want this tree to grow, I must nourish the root.
Right.
When I was living in a farm at one time, very early on in my life, I was living on farms. So, somebody comes and tells me that they have invented some kind of a spray that is for the mangoes, because I had a mango garden. I said, if you spray on the mango, mango becomes big and like that. We know always, from my life's experience as a farmer, as a life, if you nourish the root, the fruit will come out well. Now these guys are saying, spray this fruit, that itself will become big. I said, why don't you spray it on your brains and show me? Spray it on your brains, let's see if it becomes big or sparkles better, something like that.
It's yellower after that. Is prayer and meditation the same thing, or are they different, and if they are, how?
I wouldn't like to comment on prayer because I've never prayed in my life, ever. Because prayer means it's an appeal. Even in the legal process, a prayer means you're appealing for something. I never appealed for anything that came my way, I embraced it the way it is, and it's fine with me. Because I never think that this must happen to me or that must happen to me. Whatever happens to me, I'll make it nice, I'll make it wonderful.
What I'm getting to…
No, I get it, I know what you're saying. Being prayerful is different from saying a prayer or doing a prayer. Prayer is an act. For different people it may be different things because people are approaching it with a certain fearful attitude. See, what are the prayers on the planet? Just look at it. 99% of the prayers on the planet is, dear God, give me this, give me that, save me, protect me. It is either fear or wanting enhancement, I want promotion in life. Yes or no?
Yes.
So there is nothing spiritual or divine about it, it's just you're trying to outsource your survival process.
Fair.
You're telling somebody, please,
Yes.
take care of me, I'm a bad driver, dear God, be with me when I'm driving. I'm bad at my work, dear God, be with me when I'm doing this podcast. You did that and came or what? No. Okay.
I forgot about it. It would have gone probably a lot better.
So, you're trying to enhance yourself, asking for outsourcing thing, or there is fear of, about everything. So, protect me, save me. 99% of the prayers are this. Being prayerful means you look up to everything because there is nothing here that you know, really. We do not even know one atom in its entirety, with all the science that we know. We know how to use them, but we don't know what they are.
Yes.
So if you recognize life for what it is, it's too fantastic, so you are prayerful with everything. That's very different. But prayer as an act is different. Or let's put it this way, prayer means you're trying to talk to God. If you believe in God, if there is God in your understanding of life, tell me which is more important, you talking to Him or you listening to Him?
Listening to him.
So just shut up, huh? If you shut up, that's called meditation.
Is there a relationship between spirituality and religion? And I don't mean organized religion. I mean, it would seem often in spirituality it is almost divine without a figure of a god when people talk about it. But is that conceptualization proper, or are religion and spirituality different?
See, when you say religion, you are essentially looking towards an authority. It may be God, it may be a guru, it may be your father, it may be a messiah or godson or whoever, some authority higher than yourself. And whatever they say becomes your truth. That means authority is the truth. Spiritual process means you're looking for truth. Many authorities have spoken, but you are not willing to bend to those things because for you, truth is the only authority. This is the fundamental difference. Spirituality means truth is the only authority. Religion means authority is the truth. It's your choice. Authority is the truth when you live in surveillance or when you live in fear. And unfortunately, most human beings live in fear. Even if you say even if you say God, most of them are not God-loving, they're God-fearing people, right? Because even he beats you up or does whatever, because he's got lot of torture instruments in his hell. He may put you there and what all he will do, we don't know. So, fear is the basis of everything. Spiritual process is not because of fear. There is an intelligence within a human being which can't be quenched. No matter how much you know, there is something which, if you keep yourself in a dynamic mode, there is something within you which will always wonder about what is that, what is that, what is that, endlessly. If you give conscious empowerment to that sense of intelligence within you, you will be naturally spiritual. If you don't teach anybody anything on this planet, let's say all the next generation of children will not be told any stories, nonsensical stories, things that you don't know, you tell your children as if it's ultimate truth. These lies have perpetuated for too long. Things that have not worked in your life, you want to pass it on to the next generation, I think it's some kind of a crime in my opinion. I feel only what's really worked you must tell your children. What's not worked, you should banish it. Even if you thought it's very great, even if you thought it came from God himself, it's not worked for me, what's the point passing it on to you? This much honesty and integrity has not been in human societies. No matter what, we just want to pass it on because that gives us authority. See, if I can talk authoritatively about the geography of heaven, all the younger or children, let's say, will sit there with mouths open and they want to go to that place.
Right.
You are there in your control.
Right.
So is it about control or liberation again? You want people's lives to be liberated or you want it to be controlled. Well, if you're not in control of a few things, see, if you don't know how to control the bicycle that you're riding, you're not going to the destination. That is there, that much control. But it's not about control, it's about going beyond that, isn't it?
Right.
So, essentially, religion springs from this need of security. But let me put it this way, there is no such thing as security in life. Because next moment we can die. Hello? You know, recently I heard Delhi was shaking a little bit, just 4 on the Richter.
Yeah.
If you multiplied that by 2,
That's it.
and it can happen anytime. Hello?
Right.
There or here or anywhere, I'm saying. See, right now, this stone mandapam, the gravity is trying to pull it down right on top of our heads. Is it trying or not?
Yes.
Mother Earth is trying to pull this down upon us and turn this into our grave. So if you sit here, oh my God, this may fall down, then you will start thinking, God, please, don't make it fall down.
Right.
But if you're sensible, you will engineer it little better. But we know there's no guarantee. The best engineered things can still fall. Hello?
Yes.
But if you do things well, it could be quite magical. What somebody thinks is magic is actually engineering, isn't it?
Fair.
Huh?
Yes, sufficiently advanced engineering looks like magic.
All engineering looks like magic. See, if you were here 1,000 years ago and you don't know what is electricity, what is light bulb and all that, only I had a light bulb, you didn't have a light bulb. I said, let there be light and light came. you would think I'm the Messiah or the Son or himself.
Right.
But today, because you also have a bloody light, problem. If I was the only one who had a light bulb,
King of the world.
yeah,
Right. You could convince people of anything.
yes.
Yes.
So, what is magic, what is this, can be done if you understand the process.
Right.
So, when you're very joyful, life feels magical, isn't it? I'm telling you, there is a process. I can teach you a simple process if you're willing to pay enough attention. A simple process within a few days I can teach you where you can have the magic of life every moment of your life, that your heart is full with joy and your head is sparkling every time. Now, I'm not just saying this from my experience or other people's experience. Now they have mapped the brain.
Right.
That is, when people have… this is something that everybody knows these days because everything is on the WhatsApp and Instagram stuff. Suppose you're thinking of a tiger right now. One part of your brain will flash. You think of an ocean, different part of the brain will splash. For different emotions, for different experiences, different parts of the brain lights up. What they have found after 6 to 8 weeks of practice of Shambhavi, that is part of the inner engineering process, is almost the entire part of the brain is always lit. Large part, most of it is always lit, but they only tested those people who have done for six to 12 weeks or something like that. You can have your brain all the time lit. If it's all lit, every damn thing that you see people think is complicated is very simple. You can do just about anything. Every human being is capable of this, but they're controlling themselves and they want to stay in familiar territory and they're staying there successfully.
God to a fearful man is his insurance against uncertainty.
No, it's not an insurance.
Well, it is this, you said, like
It's like
outsource.
life insurance. Life insurance does not mean you will not die. You will die, but somebody will enjoy your death.
Right. But it's my way of dealing with uncertainty. To a liberated person, what is God?
That means he is liberated from God also.
From God as well. So God is… it doesn't mean anything, it's a neutral word?
See, how can I say it doesn't mean anything? It means a world to a whole lot of people.
Sure.
How can I say it doesn't mean anything? It means everything to a whole lot of people, isn't it?
Sure, agreed, yeah.
So I'm saying right now, when you are let's say a 3-month-old baby, were you at
Yes.
one time?
Yes.
Your mother was everything. Hello?
Yes.
Now, mother, how many times in a day do you think about her?
Yeah, I get what you… yeah.
Not because there's anything wrong.
Right.
Naturally. Yes or no?
Yes.
When you are 3 months of age, if she's not there, meow, you'll do. Now you're glad she's not around right now.
Right.
Hello?
Right.
Not because you hate her, not because anything wrong with you, nothing. It's a process of life that it grows, isn't it? So, similarly, when you need something, as I said, you had a teddy bear, at that time if I took it away, it would cause injury to you. But later on, you don't know where you dropped it. So this is the same thing. You hold on to something. I don't want to take it away. If there is a need within you, please hold on. But I want you to grow. I want you to evolve. If you evolve, certain things… even the tail dropped away. Hello? With evolution, I'm saying.
Yes.
You were a monkey at one time.
Yes, yes.
The tail fell away.
Right.
Hello?
Yes.
So when the head will fall away, we don't know.
Sadhguru, what is consciousness?
Oh. You're asking me like you've gone to a shop and asking, do you have toothpaste?
Anytime I speak more than a sentence, I get belted. So I'm asking shorter questions.
I'm sorry, that's not what I mean.
No, absolutely not.
See, the word consciousness today is being used very loosely in day-to-day conversations. They're just meaning to say you're thinking about something continuously, that's consciousness. Somebody has, environmentally conscious. Conscious is different, but environmental consciousness, some people are saying. No, environment is there. If you had little sense, if you paid little attention, everybody would know what is the problem, what is the solution. It's not a big deal. Now we are trying to make one big science to be studied, but the peacock that is going here knows everything that it needs to know about environment here, isn't it?
Yes.
Earthworm knows everything that it needs to know for its survival and well-being. It knows what's wrong, what's right that's happening here. So, it's not that you don't know with all the brains that a human being has. Definitely we know, but we don't want to know, or we are so occupied with our own mental chakkar. And the basic problem in human life is this: their misunderstanding their psychological activity as existentially true. The same thing goes for God. Your psychological activity, your thinking is existentially true.
What does that mean? I'm not sure I follow.
Right now, what's happening in your mind, you think is true, isn't it?
Yes.
If I pull out your memory stick, suddenly all those things are not true.
Because there's no way to verify it.
No. You love your mother?
Yes.
If I take away your memory stick, your mother comes and stands here, you look like this, because you don't know who the hell she is.
Right.
So where is it? It's in your psychological space. I'm not saying it's not valuable. Psychological space is an important part of who we are.
Right.
But it's only in your psychological space. It's not existentially there, right?
Fair.
So this is so, your whole world right now is your psychological space, but you're thinking it's real. Shall I tell you a story?
Please.
See, if you build a castle in the air, I will appreciate you because you have fantastic imagination. It's great. In every detail, every brick in the castle you built mentally, fantastic. It'll do wonders to you. But after some time, you start thinking it's real. Then we say you are neurotic. After some time, you start living there in that castle. Then we say you're psychotic. Then a third person comes and collects rent for that castle. We call him a psychiatrist. All right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take away the value of psychiatry. When
course.
somebody is ill, it is necessary. If everybody was healthy, it would be meaningless.
Yes.
But somebody is ill, so it is necessary, that's a different matter. But this is like this. You build something in your mind, your entire life is in your mind, isn't it?
Right. Yes.
If I take away your memory stick, you still breathe, your heart beats, your liver functions, even your gallbladder does whatever nonsense it's supposed to do. Nobody knows what it does, generally, I'm saying, except doctors.
Right.
So, all these things will continue to happen, these are all existential. So the psychological space, if you understand it's only psychological, you would conduct it as a grand drama, wonderfully well. But right now, when you misunderstand it as an existential reality, it goes off the tracks and troubles you so much. All the suffering is because of this, isn't it?
Yes. And so, my question, which is, what is consciousness?
You understand psychological drama is created by you.
Yes, I understand that bit.
It's your drama.
That's my drama.
Whether you're a bad director or a good director of drama is a question.
Fair.
Yes.
Right.
Physiological drama is going on by itself.
Fair.
Once you create it, it just runs by itself, it's largely automatic. Now, if you are in that space that we call as consciousness, to put it technically, let us put it this way. In yoga, we call this chitta. Chitta means an intelligence within you, which is completely free from memory. Not an iota of memory is there, it's pure intelligence. That means it has no boundaries. If you touch it, you have no boundaries. It doesn't remember what is this, what is that, but it sparkles and shines on everything. This is called chitta. If you touch your chitta, then because the words are the way they are used, what it actually means and how it is used today, are two different things. So today it's used in many ways. Leaving that aside,
Right.
that would be appropriate to call that as consciousness, because it's an intelligence beyond memory or intelligence beyond the accumulations that you gather. A life intelligence. This is consciousness. If you are in that, naturally there would be no boundaries. If you are in that, naturally there would be no prejudice. If you are in that, naturally there will be no restrictions upon you because your intelligence shines. Right now you hang on to your memory so much because if you don't hang on to that, you have nothing. Yes or no?
Yes.
You really have nothing. You have a disability, that's all that'll happen. If I take away your memory stick, you are like a zombie. You are like a computer without software.
Fair.
Nothing, blank screen. But there is consciousness which shines beyond that. So, to be in touch with the whole effort, that we keep our physiological accumulation, which is my doing, and my psychological accumulation, which is my doing, I want to keep my doing this is called my karma. I want to keep my karma aside and know life the way it is, not the way I think it is. See, right now, we sit here and we are doing our own stuff. The peacock is walking around doing its own stuff. He is not interested in the subject matter what you're talking, he's just insected. Where is the next insect? Where is the next worm? He's carefully combing the…
Surrounding.
Yes. And the squirrels are screeching because they're worried the peacock will catch them and eat them. Like this, their life is going on. They're least interested in the nonsense that we will talk because this is all psychological structure.
Right.
In their psychological structure, they know where to get the right insect, where is the juiciest worm, where is it? All this they have figured out.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
Because that's their life.
Right.
So their psychological structure is designed to make their life efficient. Our psychological structure is designed to make our life efficient, but unfortunately people are using their psychological structure to make themselves most inefficient, miserable. It's become a misery manufacturing machine. It should have been a miracle because of all the instruments that you know on this planet, including your iPad or whatever else you may have. All these technologies are just a drop out of this, isn't it?
Yes.
But how come this is such a misery manufacturing machine? Because you don't know how to manage it.
Fair.
If I give you a very complex instrument, let's say you don't know how to ride a motorcycle, it may be the most wonderful thing, but if I give you, as far as you're concerned, motorcycle means broken bones, motorcycle means cracked head, motorcycle means death. This is how most people see it in most homes.
Yes.
You say, I want a motorcycle, first thing they'll say is, no way, because what? Motorcycle means death.
Right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
I know so many people who go, Sadhguru, my wife won't allow me to ride Sadhguru, otherwise I would come and ride with you. I said, it's all right, man, you stay at home, I don't want to get problems with your wife. You have yours, but I don't want to get problems with her. If you ride with me and you break something, what do I do?
Right.
Because this happened when I started suddenly, 30 years I had not ridden a motorcycle. When I was very young, I lived on it. 30 years I got so busy, I did not even think of a motorcycle. Suddenly when I was in Rally for Rivers, because people in Mysore, Bangalore have heard of my motorcycling because on an average, I rode like 50 to 60,000 kilometers in a year, calendar year. So, even in the… they made a coffee table book about the Java SD thing, they said, I am the one who's ridden maximum in a year of that motorcycle brand itself.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So, because of that, people knew, and when I was there, they said, Sadhguru, why don't you ride? I was driving at that time. I just thought, 30 years I have not even sat on a motorcycle, can I ride? They brought one motorcycle and said, Sadhguru, you must ride. In the evening, I looked at it and I felt little hesitant because I don't know if I can ride, it's been… just didn't think about a motorcycle. Then I said, I'll take it little later in the evening. Around 9:45 I took it out so that the Bangalore traffic is little sensible. Then I sat on it in 2 minutes, I realized I haven't lost a day. Since then I've been traveling everywhere on the motorcycle, both here and in the United States. And I also rode from London to Kaveri.
From London to Kaveri?
Yes.
All that distance?
You didn't know this?
No, I had no...
30,000 kilometers in 100 days I did.
I have known of your motorcycle adventures, but I didn't know this all the way. So you crossed all of Asia.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
27 nations.
What was your favorite nation?
Wherever I am, it's always my favorite place.
It's always beautiful. My understanding of consciousness was that it is almost like this light that shines regardless of whether I'm alive or dead or I'm thinking or not. It continues past my physical body, passing and then on.
Then where are all those lights of all the dead people?
Yeah, that is exactly my question to you.
So many lights must be happening.
Some lights are probably on standby in the green room, will be pulled out later. Like, isn't that the matrix of rebirth or no?
No. No, not at all.
Yeah, because the complex mathematics to do. The population keeps expanding. How do you account for something like rebirth?
But the insect population has dropped, no?
It has? I don't think so.
Significantly.
Acha.
Yes.
Okay.
84% of the insect population is gone in the last 70 years.
Are they all upgrading?
Yeah, so much human population. People will get mad with me. No. Life is not in arithmetic. Arithmetic is of transactions. Life is not transactional.
Is the idea of rebirth and past life real?
We've already gone through this, so I will go through quickly.
Yes, yes.
So when you say this is my body, this is my mind, obviously you're saying there's something more than these two things, isn't it? Whatever that is. So if there's something more than that, what is the nature of that and what does it do? With body, what does it do? Without body, what does it do? Body has to die because you picked it up, you have to give it back to the earth. Mind is this software, it gets destroyed, all right? So if to gather all this, there must be something more fundamental.
Right.
That fundamental, what is it? Essentially, you're asking what happens after death.
Yes.
Some things you know best only by experience.
To be decided. To wait for a while, huh?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, your ability to experience this is at its best when you're alive. You don't do it now, but you want to know what happens after that death. It's a vain question, I'm saying. If you're interested in life, profoundly interested in life, you would naturally look at it. Where can you look? Can you put a hole in the coconut tree and look what is inside life? No.
No.
But you can turn inward and see what is the nature of my existence. That's all one has to do. This is why I said, if we don't teach anything to our children, every human being would be spiritual in nature. Not because of teachings, because it's the nature, intrinsic nature of human intelligence is, it wants to know. The moment you realize you do not know, search happens by itself. But now everybody's got ready-made answers. Where did I come from? I came from God. Where will I go? I'll go to heaven. Standard answers, all right?
Right.
Which just destroying the quest. If you don't tell anything, suppose nobody told you anything, no God, no spirituality, no going up, no going down, would your intelligence not inquire, what is this all about? Will it not?
Yes.
It naturally would. Every human being would inquire. In that, there is spiritual process, because spiritual process means to seek. The moment you say, I'm religious, we refer to you as a believer. The moment you say, I'm spiritual, we refer to you as a seeker. Once you're a believer, you always want to be in a flock. Once you're a seeker, your tendency is you want to be alone. Yes or no? Why do you need the company of people? Because if you believe something and nobody around you believes the same thing, you will feel like an utter fool. You need another 10 people to believe the same thing that I believe. Then only I feel good. If there are 1 million people, I'll feel very comfortable.
Right.
So, as I said, is truth the authority in your life, or authority the only truth in your life? This is something you must come to terms with. If you're seeking solace, then you believe something. It's good. But if you're seeking a solution, you have to seek. It's harder. You just believe everything, I'm in God's lap, everything is fine with me. It gives you solace, you'll sleep well tonight. But if you have a question that torments you, you can't sleep, but you break barriers. That's the difference.
I saw a little installation at the welcome point for Miracle of Mind. I wanted to ask you about that. What is Miracle of Mind?
Tell
And
me, is your mind a miracle or not?
after this conversation, it's 1.5 miracles.
The greatest miracle that we know on this planet is human mind, isn't it?
Yes.
Though people are always trying to come up with something, something. People ask me all kinds, Sadhguru, can you perform a miracle? I tell them, okay, you want a miracle? Say, I'll put my hand in my pocket and pull out a pigeon for you. Miracle enough? Yes, Sadhguru. Okay, I gave you a pigeon, what do you have? You have a bird and I have a shitty pocket. What is the point of this?
Right.
But I can teach you a miracle that if you sit here, you are full by your own nature, not because of what you do, not because of what you have. You are complete and blissed out by your own nature. This is the miracle that we need on the planet right now. For this miracle, if you do not understand the miraculous nature of your mind, you will never do this. The only misery manufacturing unit that is there on the planet, is it in Gurgaon?
What? The misery manufacturing? Yeah. On the way.
In the Gurgaon?
Delhi Gurgaon highway to the right. I've seen it.
No, it's in your mind. That's the only place where it's manufactured. What is a miracle has become misery, source of misery in most people's lives because this is what they have done to it. See, right now, like a phone, everybody is carrying a phone these days and they call it a smartphone. You call somebody smart only if they're smarter than you. Hello? Otherwise, you won't. So if you're calling your phone a smartphone, we know who you are, all right? Now the smartphone, for me, who grew up when there were no phones like this, and we also, when I was building the foundation, so many hundreds of calls I had to make, it was an ordeal to make calls. Somewhere I am traveling on the highway, then I have once in 15 days or something my phone calling day. I stop, I go to that blue box, metal box with some wire mesh on it. And it's all painted there, STD. No, it doesn't mean sexually transmitted diseases. You know what's STD?
Yes.
Yes.
Standard trunk dialing. Yes. I'm from that age, that era. Yes.
STD so much, local call this much, international so much, whatever. I have many calls to make and I never had a phone book. 600, 700 numbers are in my mind, names and numbers match, never called a wrong number ever. And I know if I go into the booth, I will take 4 or 5 hours to make all these many calls. So first thing I go and give that guy 5,000 rupees. He'll say, why? 5,000 rupees is a lot of money those days. I said, you keep it, man. Keep it, I'm going to make phone calls. He keeps it. And after I do for 30-40 minutes, there are other local people who want to call 50 paisa call. That guy is not interested in that customer.
Right.
So he will take care of them. Otherwise, they'll all gesticulating at me and abusing me from outside because I'm calling. I have hundreds calls to make. And by the time I finish this, my finger is almost broken. I tried this finger, it won't go. I'll try this finger, because that black phone, cutter, you know.
Right.
Today I'm driving, if I just tell somebody's name, my phone will call. It's a blessing. But some people say they're suffering, that also.
Right.
They're suffering it immensely, they think their phone is driving them crazy. No, what is driving you crazy is this, that you don't know how to drive your mind. Your mind is driving you. Mind is not a good master, but it is the most efficient slave on the planet.
Fair. And so Miracle of Mind?
Miracle of Mind is about that. So actually the branding is like this, 7 minutes a day. 7 minutes, own your day.
And so 7…
That is, today is yours. Just invest 7 minutes a day. This day is yours. Nobody else can decide how this is today.
It's an app?
It is going out as an app.
It's going out as an app.
App is a delivery system, it's not the end goal.
Yes.
So it's a free app.
Free.
Which we will launch on 26th of this month.
Right.
The idea is, we want to ensure in the next 24 months after we launch, we want to make sure at least 3 billion people on the planet will close their eyes for a minimum of 7 minutes a day. If this happens, that 3 billion people close their eyes for 7 minutes a day, there will be a miracle on this planet. 3 billion people, you may think, oh, how can anybody reach? Is it even practical? See, you are not here in Middle Ages or in caveman's time. This is today. Our 2024 video views are 5.6 billion. When I did this ride from London to Kaveri, in those 100 days, we touched 3.92 billion people for the soil message. This movement was called Save Soil. 3.92 billion people in 100 days, after that it's well over 4 billion people we have touched. So I'm saying we are at a time, many great beings have come in the past, but if they spoke, hardly 10 people could hear them. Today we can sit here and talk to the entire world if we are willing to do what it takes to do that. So we want to see at least 3 billion people will spend 7 minutes a day investing upon their own mental well-being, because mental well-being is not to be taken for granted, especially now. Why people are thinking I'm switching from subject to subject. Oh, Sadhguru, you were talking about Project Green Hand, then suddenly you spoke about rivers, now you're talking soil, and now you're saying mental health. All these things are connected. One, there's too much science behind it, I'll not go into all that. The simple thing is this: what you call as soil here, which is the top soil, on an average in the world, the top soil is approximately 18 to 22, 23 inches, this much. This is all the averages. This has trillions of species of organisms. It is the largest living system, not just on the planet, in the universe, in the known universe. This is the largest living system. Trillions and trillions of organisms. If you take a handful, there are over 6 to 8 billion organisms, just a handful of soil. That is falling apart because there is no enough organic matter, they have nothing to eat, they are on starvation mode. As this continues, the basic fabric of life gets weaker because the foundational life for all life is these microorganisms. Even in your body, over 60% is microorganisms. Only 40% is parental genetics. 60% is microorganisms. If they start collapsing, your body will collapse. So it's beginning to happen there. First thing that will collapse is your software. So you are seeing this all over the place. Serious levels of mental illness is spreading all over the world. In the Western countries, it's happening much more. In India, we have this habit of thinking it'll only happen to them, white people, it'll happen to them. Because we have our angst of being ruled by them in a very brutal way for 250 years, so we think all evil things will happen only to them because it's their karma. No, it'll happen to all of us. In urban centers, it'll happen first, then it'll spread everywhere. To a point where now they're saying mental health pandemic will happen. Pandemic means what? You have some problem. If you came here, all these people got that problem. That's a pandemic. So it's going to become like that in the next 20, 25 or 40 years' time max. We are heading that direction unless we do some significant reversal process which can be done. So one important thing is to insulate yourself from such things. It's like 7 minutes a day is like wearing a mask and going into a crowd when the pandemic was on. That much guarantee it'll give you. So this has to happen now. It has to reach that many people. Every adult human being should close their eyes at least 7 minutes a day and do a simple process. Substantial studies have been done on this, how it works, why it is important, everything.
And so, is it an instruction in the app? Am I receiving an instruction?
It's a guided meditation.
It's a guided meditation that lasts 7 minutes. And it's for all ages.
Yes.
And I should do it first thing in the morning, last thing in my day,
I won't do any such restrictions, do it whenever.
whenever. 7 days, 7 minutes, sit down during the day, put your whatever thing on and then listen to the
Yes.
guided. And that should, because it is true, mental health is such a big question mark and there's many theories as to why it exists. But we don't really have…
There are many sociological and other reasons also. One important thing is, as social structures, particularly family structures, become more,
Volatile.
it is no more so concrete.
Yes.
It's a little more fluid. Once that happens, people are going through enormous emotional insecurities within themselves, which never was there in previous generations. That is one thing, but the most important thing is this. Your body, what is it made of?
I mean, it's made up of skin, bone,
I know.
blood.
How was all that made?
Um,
Wait, dosa.
it was made from dosa batter?
Where did dosa batter come from?
From rice, from the
Where
ground.
did rice come
from? the ground.
From soil.
From soil. Okay, I see
So
what you mean.
essentially it's made of soil.
Okay.
Most people will understand my body is made of soil only when you bury them. From the maggots they'll get the message. Instead of that, if you get the message from the mystic, life will change. From the maggots if you get it, it's still good because you still make good manure, it doesn't matter who the hell you are. You still make good manure. That may be the only ecologically sensible thing you did. But let it not be so, because let these things happen when you're alive.
Right.
When you're dead, you did great things. See, you gathered lot of stuff. You gathered a mountain of gold. After you died, they took it and did some good things. It's still good.
Fair.
But if you do it when you're alive, it's fantastic, isn't it? For you, it's fantastic.
Right.
So, this is very important, we understand this, that this is made of soil. So the basic material which makes this, it's becoming weak. See, it is not a question of nitrogen, phosphate, this, that. It is the living organisms. See, this is something most human beings do not know. Please convey this to your people, all the young people who listen to you or whatever they do. Now this tree has to get nourishment from the soil. The tree has no capability to get nourishment from the soil. It is only through the agency of organisms it can get. Directly it cannot get. As the organisms go down, the number goes down. Because of starvation, there's not enough organic material because there are only two sources. Only two sources of organic material. I'm saying this because a lot of young people today think this is a technological solution. This is the technology. The dry leaf that falls from the tree and the dung that falls from the cow and every other animal, this is the technology. The organic matter that they drop is the only way all these organisms can survive. Tell me how much farmland on this planet has trees or animals now?
Very few. Decreasing?
Significantly. 17 years ago, India had 1.23 billion bovine animals. Today we have 670 million.
Half.
About that much. In 17 years' time. And we have become the largest beef exporter on the planet. All this, I'm not getting into the politics of all the nonsense.
I get it, yes.
The important thing is, we need dung, animal waste to go back into the land. The value of the animal is not in its meat, not in its milk, in its dung and urine. It has to go back into the land, not for you to eat it or drink it. It has to go back into the land. If that doesn't happen, in 25 to 40 years' time, you'll kill the land. Let me put it this way. You take a bucket of sand, put enough organic material into it, it will become soil. You take a bucket of soil, rich soil, take away all the organic material, it becomes sand. This is called desertification. When you fly from here to Delhi, every 5 minutes look out of the window. Does she allow you to sit on the window seat or?
No, I can't say that. No, I sit on the window.
Okay.
Yes.
Every you look down every 5 minutes. What you will see is a brown desert across India, except Western Ghats and northeastern part. Look at the land, it looks like a desert. this is what we have done. This is not just India. Not a single nation on the planet has the minimum organic content that's recommended by United Nations. Not a single.
All right, Sadhguru, this has been a pleasure. Is there a suggestion or a comment you have for me? That's a ritualistic question I do at the very end.
Oh, I'm not a man of rituals.
You can feel free to break it.
You've been talking about consciousness, now suddenly you're turning into ritual. Ritual means you repeat something every day. Like you brush your teeth, it's a ritual. Why are you brushing your teeth? It didn't come out of your own intelligence, believe me. Your mother told you. When you're little, she told you must brush your teeth. No brushing, no breakfast. How long? Maybe 6 months, 1 year, whatever. She insisted. After that, you started brushing. But tomorrow if your mother comes and says, this brushing was a mistake, I'm very sorry, please give it up, I have also given it up. Will you give it up?
Possibly, but that's because
Hello?
being lazy is easier.
Tell him what will happen to him. Somebody else will tell you if your mother doesn't, all right? So I'm saying by now you should have realized the significance of brushing.
Right.
So you start something as a ritual, but after some time you realize the significance of it. Now it's no more a ritual, you're doing it consciously. If it's needed once, you'll do it once, if it's twice, twice, if it's needed thrice, you'll do it thrice.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Maybe your mother taught you only once or twice, but if it's needed, you will do it 3 times also, isn't it?
Right.
So because it's happening more consciously, because you realize the significance of it. This is how you must conduct every aspect of your life. Initially, because 90% of what a human being is a learnt behavior. There's a squirrel doing key there. For him, 90% of his life is instinctive, he knows. 10% he learns by behavior from his parents or his siblings or whatever, yes. The difference between one squirrel and the other squirrel in personality is only 10% approximately, I'm saying. It's not absolute numbers, I'm saying it's small.
Yeah.
But with a human being, only 10% is instinctive, 90% is learnt behavior. So because of this, many things may enter our lives as a ritualistic form, because from memory of thousands of generations of people, there is a memory, they're trying to put that into us as a ritual, but as we grow, we must make this into a conscious process. Otherwise, we'll become victims of those rituals. What is the question now?
No questions left. I'm out of questions. This has been an absolute pleasure, Sadhguru.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.